hard on their craft, whatever that is. I mean, being an athlete, any athletes on this live knows that it takes a lot of work, and it's not easy to go to the gym every day, to be consistent. You got to deal with injuries. You got to deal with performance anxiety. It's a lot of things that you got to deal with, and to get to a point where, you know, you're winning and you win, and then to have your win shaded by somebody who's less talented or doesn't work as hard, or maybe they do work as hard, but they just don't got it. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't got it, you don't got it. And that's my opinion about it. Like, I think we need to kill.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
So now that we got that out the way, like I said, I always recommend for people to trade on their demo account. If you want to take these trades, use demo. If you decide to trade with live money, do it at your own risk and make sure you use proper risk management. All right, so the first thing we're going to go over.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
We had our drop, we had another pullback, and now we had another drop that broke structure on the downside. So now what we're paying attention to are these lows over here to the left. Now we're targeting these lows, so we're looking for sales at this point.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
Institutions have gotten involved, but keep in mind that Bitcoin is a decentralized asset. Decentralized meaning no one controls it, but you know, the people, miners, and people participating in it. Now, if the government wants to shut that down, they can at any time. Let's be real. Let's be honest. I know there's some people out there who are all for decentralization of currency, so they can't control, you know, our money, and they can't find out and track us, and that's not going to be the case. The reality is, we are under the rule of the powers that be, and they're controlling everything. All right, so if you are going to play the money game,
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
Welcome to Markup Mondays, where every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we analyze the financial markets, educate the community on trading and investing, discuss world news and popular topics. I'm your host, Delonte Brady, Chief Analyst and six-figure earner with Bold People Get Rich, and here are some things you need to know about this broadcast. During the market analysis portion of this call, we often find areas in the market to trade or make our investments. To be updated on these entries, exits, and trade management, make sure you tap the three dots on my Facebook page and change following to favorites. This way, you'll never miss an update. To receive investment knowledge, exclusive deals, and updates, click the link tree in my bio and subscribe to our mailing list. If you're viewing this broadcast on YouTube, to be kept up to date, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. This is an event made for the people, by the people, and we love to hear your feedback and answer your questions during the show. So please feel free to comment as often as you like. Lastly, all forms of investing do involve risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Increasing leverage increases risk. Before deciding to trade in any financial market, you should carefully consider your financial objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. Any opinion, news, research, analysis, price valuation, or other information contained in this video does not constitute investment advice. No person or persons in this video is a financial advisor. All right, welcome everybody to Markup Mondays. My name is Delonte Brady, Chief Analyst with Bold People Get Rich. And every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I analyze the financial markets, educate the community on trading and investing, and we go over popular topics. And for today's topic, we're going to be talking about possible food shortages, what's going on with the supply chain. So if that's something that you want to be up to date on, definitely hang around for that. But first things first, let's go ahead and go over last week's news. And before we get into it, anybody that's tuning in, if you trade, if you have a financial asset that you trade, go ahead and drop that in the comments, and we'll analyze that as long as we have time. All right. I know whatever you trade, GBP, USD, any currency, any commodity indexes, go ahead, throw it at me. And if we have time, we'll get to it. But let's go ahead and review what happened last week. All right. So that's it. We're looking for a sell from here, either a sell from here or a buy from here. All right, so we were looking for a sell or a buy on Euro USD. And as you can see, both areas got hit. Now, I did set the target for, I believe it was 1.17500. And that first one, it didn't quite fill. Depending on what brokerage you have, depending on how the spread was, it didn't fill, but it definitely filled on the second time. If you left that sell limit in, your sell limit got hit, you didn't get stopped out, and boom, 20 pips. As long as you did what you were supposed to do, you won that sell. And also the buy got filled as well. So if you took both trades, you won 2 times last week. And I believe those were the only trades that we took. May have taken some more, but I got to check in the sniper game. All right. So of course, Euro USD, that's standard. That's my pair. So we got to go over that, Denver. Tone said SPX 500. I got you. And Tramika wants to go over GU and gold. All right, so we got some pairs to analyze, which is cool. We can kill some time on the front end before we get into the topic of the day. So first thing we want to do before we get into analyzing the markets, I always like to go over news. All right, it's a good habit to form. Before you get to trading for the week, you definitely want to know what's the outlook for the upcoming week. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in news and how it relates to these pairs that we're trading, the US dollar, right? All right, hold on, get this right. Give me a quick second, guys. Here we go. All right, so I like to get my news off of my FX book. From my experience, I started off with Forex Factory, and sometimes they report different news, but the one that's usually lacking is Forex Factory. So I went with my FX book because it usually has all of the news releases. And what we have for the upcoming week, first, let's check out what happened. All right, so for Monday, we had the durable goods orders released for the US dollar. That was mixed news. We got some good news and some bad news from that. Those were high impact, but we didn't see much movement in the market today. As far as what's coming up next for the euro, we have a red folder news release at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we also have another red folder news release at 4 o'clock in the morning, the Bank of Austria Manufacturing. And then for the US dollar, all right, when we going into the New York session at 8:30 in the morning, we got the goods trade balance. We may see a little movement there. And then we have Chairman Powell. Uncle Jerome is speaking at 10 o'clock in the morning. And more than likely, that's what's really going to move the markets. All right, so 10 o'clock in the morning, I know a lot of times I'm in the market. Some of you are probably in the market. Just be aware that Powell is speaking, right? The chairman of the Federal Reserve, anytime he talks about anything that's going on with inflation, with interest rates, or anything going on with the Federal Reserve, more than likely is going to move the market. All right, so that's tomorrow. Wednesday, not a lot going on until 10:45 a.m. We have another speech from Powell. So again, just like we were talking about what's going to happen tomorrow, more than likely on Wednesday at 10:45 a.m., we're going to see some movement in the market because of Uncle Jerome speaking. All right, and then on Thursday, we have unemployment rates releasing at 2 o'clock in the morning for the euro. That's definitely going to move the market. I'll be looking for some entries to take place by that time. Be looking for, the market makers and the algorithms to push price to an entry area. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, retail sales, another red folder. 4 in the morning, unemployment. All right, so Thursday is going to be a heavy news day. Expect a lot of movement during the London session for the euro on Thursday. Okay, and then at 8:30 in the morning, jobless claims for the US dollar. That's at 8:30. And then on Friday, Friday is going to be another crazy day. You guys see all these red folders, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, so back-to-back news is going to be a lot of movement. And then 8:30 in the morning, we got personal income, personal spending, then market manufacturing. So that's what's going on with news. Just a heads up, going into tonight, we're going to see some movement around 2 o'clock. And then it's a heavy news day on Thursday and going into Friday. All right, so let's go ahead and get into Euro USD. All right, now today I want to talk about, because of where Euro USD is at, I want to give you guys one of my secrets. So I'm going to share a secret with y'all today about my strategy. All right, so Euro USD, let's look at this. Let's start on the higher time frame. We got a blank chart going on right now. And so let's look at what's been happening. I always like to just, come out, see what's been going on. Even though we go over it every week, it's important to look at this stuff all the time. Even if you see it over and over again, it's important to know where we are in the market. All right, so we've been having a lot of selling pressure. All right, we've been having a lot of lows broken and a lot of highs being respected. And we really entered into somewhat of a consolidation. So we really sold off and it's somewhat consolidated. We created a low here. We had a high here, created a low, broke this low over here. And then we came up and we created a high, but this high didn't go beyond this high. And anybody who's been following Markup Mondays know we go over market structure, which is what we're going to go over today again. But as far as the rules go, even on a higher time frame, we're in somewhat of a consolidation because we haven't come above this high and we haven't come below this low, which means the range that we're in right now, in between this high and this low, is somewhat of a range. And it's really within a consolidation range because, again, we haven't broken any highs, we haven't broken any lows. All right, so just keeping that in mind that this is somewhat of a consolidation, and it looks like we're kind of rejecting from this area, but I believe we're going to push down. Let's go ahead and drop to a lower time frame. All right, so last week we had some major market manipulation when news released here. We cleared a weekly high and we cleared a weekly low. We went up, cleared the liquidity, came down, cleared the liquidity, and we're really working within this range right here. Now, we already caught our trade. We caught our sell, we caught our buy, and now we're back within this range. All right, so this is one big range right here. This is a 70 pip range. I can mark this up. And it's really just a big zone of consolidation. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is a time where I do not trade because there's nothing going on. There's nothing that I can work with within here that I feel comfortable with. All right. We had some structure being broken to the downside. We had a pullback. We had some more structure being broken to the downside. That would indicate a downtrend, but we're downtrending within consolidation and we're close to the bottom of the consolidation, which means we could be reversing from this point. All right. So I don't want to get caught up. I want to increase my chances of placing a successful trade. And what I'm not going to do is trade within this consolidation. We may stay stuck in this consolidation for another week. All right. And what that means for me is that I will not trade for a week because we in this zone. If I can't find an entry, or if we don't come outside of this box, then I will not place a trade. All right. So what I got to do is I got to target areas that's outside of this consolidation zone that may take some time for the market to come to. All right. So if we do come outside of the consolidation, I would like to sell from this area. All right. We have some imbalance right here, and it's outside of the consolidation. Now, if it comes outside of the consolidation, could that mean that it's buying? Of course, but I would be looking for a reaction from that area. And as far as a sell, I really like this small figure institutional level down here. All right, so at price level 16750. Right, and the reason why I like this area is because of something that's going on over here to the left. It's really, really close to a floor where we had a bounce. And I would just like to get a reaction from there. So those are the two areas. All right. We may get a push down to this area tonight. You know, who knows? But if not, I will not take a trade until we come up to this red area here, which is in between price level 1.1750 and 1.17, let's say 900. All right. So this is where the sell is going to be. And our buying zone is down here at this level. All right, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a reaction. Let me go ahead and delete this. We know this is consolidation. All right, we're looking for a reaction from this price level here down at 1.6750, 1.16750. And when I say a reaction, 20 pips and out on EU. All right, it's not a very volatile pair. And it usually, if it makes a move, it usually moves about 20 pips, even if it doesn't continue in the direction that we think is going to go. All right, so looking for a reaction from the buy zone or a push up to the sell zone, which is in between 1.1750 and 1.7900. All right, so that's what's going on with EU. And while we're on EU, really quick, also want to point this level out. If we break above this purple zone, even if we get a reaction from that sell zone like we're looking for, more than likely we'll start looking for buys at that point. All right, if we break back above this purple zone and we hang above this purple zone, then we'll start looking for buys. All right, so just a heads up. Take notes, take notes. All right, so that is it for EU. Let me check the comments real quick. All right, Blake, I got you. Blake wants me to go over silver. All right, we got some pairs to cover. All right, so I'm gonna get into Ripple, then we'll get into SPX next. All right, so Ripple has been consolidating in the price that it dropped down to. It's trading at lower levels or lower prices. We had a strong drop in the market and a lot of stuff going on in the cryptocurrency market. If you haven't heard, last week, China made it illegal for all cryptocurrency transactions or Bitcoin transactions over in China, and they actually make up for a big majority of the trading that goes on and the mining that goes on in the cryptocurrency market. But they made it illegal, right? Just because they made it illegal don't mean it's not going to happen. But it still dropped price. And I came on Facebook and I let everybody know. It was around 8 in the morning. It was like 8:30 in the morning. Ripple had dropped down to about 90 cents. And I said, if you got it, buy some now. All right. I wasn't saying use all your spending power, but it's definitely a great price, in my opinion, to be buying Ripple as far as investing, not trading, on the investment side. Now, I could very well drop even lower. I still got my buy limit in. Sydney was laughing at me a couple of weeks ago. Still got my buy limit in at 68 cents. All right. So I would not be surprised if it came down there, if we had some type of liquidity sweep and just really, push down there and spike back up. But that would be the next buying area would be 80 cents, and then 68 cents would be my last buying area. Like I say every week. All right. And right now we are in the buying range for Ripple. So if you have some expendable money, all right, some money that you're not going to need, don't put anything in the market that you're going to have to turn around and pull out, next week or next month. If you have some expendable money, some buying power, I definitely, this is what we're invested in. This is one of the cryptocurrencies that we're invested in, Ripple. On the trading side, all right, we already got the reaction from the 4 hour. And the next reaction I would be expecting is this second green box here, as far as trading goes. So if you trade Ripple, I believe we'll see a reaction in between 83 cents and 81 cents, which is about 200 pips. It's a range of 200 pips. All right, check the comments real quick. Anybody got any questions on Ripple? If not, we'll keep it moving, All right, hey, what's some cryptocurrencies that y'all invested in? Drop in the comments the cryptocurrencies that y'all invested in. I want to know what's some of y'all favorite cryptocurrencies? Right now we're in Ethereum, we're in Ripple, and Rachel, I don't know how, she convinced me to get some shit. To me, it's a meme coin, but whatever. That's a gamble. That's a gambling cryptocurrency we invested in. But we got Cardano, Ripple, and we got some Ethereum right now. All right, let's go ahead and get into SPX, S&P 500. All right, so the S&P 500, I know it's made up of the top 500, the top 500 stocks in America, and it's a gauge of the economic health. Really big in the tech sector. This is definitely something that, me personally, US 30, SPX, NAS, those are not things that I would trade. In my opinion, indexes are best used as long-term investments. All right, if you're going to invest in something, SPX, it's more high probable, it's less risky, more high probable, and makes a little more sense to invest in indexes long term. All right, the foreign exchange market is great for short-term investing. And I believe the indexes are great for long-term investing. All right, so we got cousin Blake, who's in Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, and Ripple. So we on the same page. If y'all not hip to Blake, he is very knowledgeable on cryptocurrency as well. Definitely, if you have any questions about cryptocurrency, reach out to him. I still reach out to him about cryptocurrency. Denver said he's in Solana. I actually got my eye on Solana. We got that on the watch list. I've heard about it. I don't know what's the fundamental, backing behind it. If anybody knows anything about Solana, or Denver, if you know why you're invested in Solana, definitely feel free to drop that in the comments and let us know what are the fundamentals behind Solana, because I see that the price is performing well. All right, S&P 500. I haven't looked at this in a while. So looking at the daily, looks like we had us a nice clear of a low right here. So we took out a low, which indicates that more than likely probably going to continue up again past the last high, the way the indices are moving. Really not expecting the stock market to drop or these indices to drop, stock market to drop until around December, until around Christmas, because of what's going on with the supply chain. I believe it's going to be a delayed effect on the store shelves and in the stock market. But looks like we had a sweep here. We headed up, creating some liquidity here. We got some clean highs that more than likely are going to get poked. And it looks like we're starting to reject from there. So more than likely, I'll be looking at for a buying scenario on the lower time frame. So let's see. Oh yeah, these highs is real clean right here. Even if they sell from this point, I don't see them not coming back for this. And then even if we look at this right here, those highs is too clean. All right, so we got some liquidity here. And we are currently coming down to a logical area to buy from, in my opinion. This is on the 4-hour. I would not be surprised if we got a reaction from here. Second area. Or second buy zone would be here. So 4-hour, another 4-hour. And just for good measure, if this was an extension or if this is an uptrend, what are we looking at on the Fib? That would be a very shallow retracement if it rejected from where it's at right now, because that's not even the 38%. And down there where the second buy area is about 50%. Keep in mind, we got some US news coming out too. Now, let me see something. Let's pull this across. Could be rejecting, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the way SPX move. I'm just applying my strategy. Most of the time, sometimes we can get reactions. Right. Yeah. Honestly, I think we should be getting a rejection from where SPX is at right now. It's 8:30 in the evening. We headed into the Asian, going into the London. Probably gonna start to see a lot of volatility start to pick up or pick back up. This low here. I don't know, man. I don't feel too good about SPX and where it's at. I don't see anything super clear, but I wouldn't be surprised if it rejects from where it's at. And second buy zone, the area that I would wait to buy again would be in between price level 4407 and 4382, which is a very big buying zone. But yeah, that's what I see for SPX, Tone. I think it's going to come back for this liquidity. And we could possibly see a rejection from where it's at. So I'll save that markup. We'll come back and check it out and see, how it played out. All right. So Blake says Solana is like a polka dot, huge upside for the future. Solana is a good pick. All right. Cool. I'll take your word for it. I believe it. All right. So Blake says Solana is a good pick for cryptocurrency. Definitely, of course, always do your own research, something to look into, but Solana. All right, next, let's go ahead and look at GU. Y'all got me analyzing everything tonight. Most of the time, GU is like, I'm usually like, I got the same feelings on GU that I do for EU because they move similar. No, but we got some very clear price action going on. So this is something that we called over the weekend. Remember this? Did I call this last week or did I call this on our trade training on the mentorship call this Saturday? See it? This sell zone that is coming from. So I remember you had called this sell zone up here, and it was on the weekend. Yep. So I actually called this sell zone right here on the weekend, and it's already rejecting. So following the institution's footprint, we already 30 pips in profit from the sell area. I'm expecting it to continue selling. Keeping in mind, we do still have some liquidity up here that hasn't been taken. That's tough. That was a nice reaction. Of course, we got this area to test to see what happens there. And we also have some equal lows down here. So let's not forget about them on the hour. We got some equal lows. All right, so we got some liquidity. Right below there, let's see if we can find us a nice level. Look to be lining up real good with this high figure right here, Sid and Tramika. That's the one I will wait for. Honestly, the area that it's in right now, I would prefer it. If I was going to get in for a buy, I would prefer to see it sweep some lows first. So if I was going to buy, I would wait for it to drop to this level here. and I would just go for the reaction. This is just target practice. See if we'll get a rejection from there. But because of this liquidity that they left up here, I'm expecting them to come for this, and then the next sell zone would be here. All right, so that's what I got for GU, y'all. I would sell from this area here, and I would wait for the buy at this price level, 1.36500. I'm only looking for the reactions. All right, let's see what we got next. All right, gold. Let's check gold out, see what's going on with gold. Man, so we finally came for those equal lows. I wonder if Dame caught that. So the liquidity got taken out. A lot of selling pressure. Where we coming from? It's a lot of selling pressure. And in my opinion, is really in the same. It's really in the same kind of holding pattern as EU. It's like it got that look where it could go up or it could go down. Whatever. If I was to participate in this, it would be like very short, low risk trades. But I would have to wait as far as like looking for a reaction. Boom, boom. Oh, shit. As far as a reaction, I would have to wait for it to come up here. And then for a buy, man, it's tricky. I wouldn't attempt to buy until I seen some structure get formed, because this look crazy over here. A lot of selling pressure on gold right now. And like I said, it's in the holding pattern like EU. So I really don't see anything within the range. As far as a reaction, I will wait for 1770, in between 1770 and 1775, which I believe is a range of about 50 pips. Yep. I don't see anything for the buy. I would wait for a sell, and I would just be looking for a reaction at that. Let me just check out the 15-minute too to see. See anything? Yeah, this is not attractive. This is not sexy at all. Nothing about this is sexy. The market is just really not sexy right now. It's not sexy. All right, silver. Pretty sure silver is looking the same as gold. Just about. Oh, no, okay. I retract my I rescind my message or my opinion. Silver going crazy, huh? So I haven't analyzed silver since back here, but following market structure. All right, we had a pullback of about 50 to the 618. So we should be expecting a pullback to around the 50 to the 618, which means more than likely we'll get somewhat of a reaction from there. And we got some evidence of why it should be reacting from there. Just following market structure. Strong wick right here. So it looks like we pushing down, and it looks like could possibly be reacting from the area already, but I doubt it. We'll probably get a reaction sell from here. And I'm just doing target practice on this. I'm gonna come back and look at it. But we looking at this from the 4 hour. So strong rejection from the suspected buy zone, but keeping in mind, we also have a strong wick from here that came down and broke structure. We broke this low right here, and we broke below a significant level, and we have an area to come down into. And the last pullback did pull back, about 50 to 618, and the market usually repeats itself. So let's see how far we extended up. Just about to the 618, the 1618, 127. All right, Blake. So that's what I see for silver. I see it buying from this area. If we come back down in this buy zone, I would, this is an area that looks attractive for a buy. And sell zone, but I would be looking for a reaction. Buy you could probably hold because it's silver clearly has strength. It's been had strength since almost the beginning of the year. Yep. Then if not from there, from here. Yeah, I see it selling from these areas and then coming back down into the green area for a buy. What you think? What you think, cuz? What's your thoughts on it? Sydney said he already in the bushes. All right, cool. All right, GU, silver. All right, we got them all. So that was everything. We analyzed everything. Does anybody have any questions? Open Q&A real quick before we hop off the charts and get into till we get into the trade and gem of the day. Going once, going twice. All right, let's get into the trade and gem of the day. Of course, we've already gone over this, but you can never go over market structure enough. You can never go over risk management enough, right? You can never go over trade psychology enough. So market structure. All right. The market only does three things. If you haven't heard me say this already and you're taking notes, go ahead and write this down. The market only does three things. All right. It accumulates, it consolidates, and it distributes. That is it. That is all. That is all the market does. So if trading is something that, is you getting into it or you've been doing it, this is something that is going to complicate it or complicate it less for you, right? It's going to make it less complicated for you. Just remember that the market only does three things. It consolidates, it accumulates, it distributes. Now, accumulate, that stands for, maybe you understand it as uptrends. All right, so the market is creating higher highs and higher lows. That's accumulating, or is uptrending, or is bullish. Consolidation is the market pausing, or it's not going anywhere. It doesn't have a direction. Pretty much what EU is doing right now, right? And consolidation is not something that you really want to trade because it is less likely for you to win within consolidation. The market is a lot less predictable in consolidation. So my advice to you is to not trade within consolidation on the smaller time frames. And then distribution is downtrending or bearishness, creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Now, the market only does three things, and the rules are what makes an uptrend is if a higher high and a higher low is created. When a higher high and a higher low is created, all right, so we have a high, all right, we have our low down here, we have a high, and then we have a higher low. Are we in an uptrend yet? Are we in an uptrend yet? Somebody let me know. Drop in the comments. We got a low, we got a high, we got a higher low. Would that be considered an uptrend? All right, Blake said, great minds think alike. Absolutely. But if that was the case, we would have got a stalemate in that chess game. I had to throw it out there. I gotta push you to get with it. All right, so no, this is not considered an uptrend. Why? Because we haven't created a higher high, right? Or we didn't point out the higher high. So we have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, but we haven't created that higher high yet. So this isn't considered an uptrend. As soon as this higher high is created, that's when we can begin to look at this as an uptrend. And that's when we pull out our fib and we start looking for retracements to the 50%, 38%, the 618, right? Now, same thing with a downtrend. It just works in the opposite way. If we have a high, we have a low, or actually we have a lower low, right? We have a high, we have a lower low, right? Because it broke below this low, and then we have a lower high. Is this a downtrend yet? Technically, yeah, because we broke this low right here. But if it was high to lower high, this doesn't become a downtrend until this low gets broken, till we create a lower low. Then that's when we want to start looking for a sell on the pullback. And then consolidation, that's when highs and lows don't get broken and we stay within the range. The market just goes sideways. All right, so that's the investing gem of the day. The market only does three things. It accumulates, it consolidates, it distributes, or uptrends, goes sideways, downtrends, bullish or bearish. All right, so that is it for trading. Let's go ahead and get into the topic of the day. We got about 13 minutes left, and today what I want to talk about is the supply chain, and then how a supply chain could cause possible food shortages in the future. Now, I'm not a fear monger. I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm not telling everybody to just go out and get canned goods and just load up and stock up on canned goods or it's the end of the world. But it is something to pay attention to, and it's good to be aware of these things, just because, right? You want to be prepared just in case. We can't completely depend on society. We can't completely depend on the government, to take care of us, all right? Because at the end of the day, this is a very imperfect system ran by imperfect human beings. All right, I think sometimes we forget that and we get comfortable because of the internet and all the technology that we got. And, it's just the way we've been living. Like, we kind of get hand fed a lot, right? So I just want to raise the awareness on what the supply chain is and how that could affect food shortages, what that means for Christmas coming up, and then possibly, some things that we can do to prepare for that and to be better prepared for it. All right. So give me a quick second. Again, if you're taking notes, this is definitely a part that you want to be taking notes at. All right, boom. Here we go. So first, we talked about Anthony Joshua versus Usyk last week. He did take a L. Out of all of the fights that we called, that was the first one that we had wrong. All right. Hopefully, he bounced back from that, but that definitely messed up the Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight because I wanted to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. So let's talk about supply chains and the way that they work. All right. So the supply chains, a lot of things are, produce. A lot of produce is grown within America, but we get a lot of our technology. We get a lot of, we get a lot of other things outside of food from China. Like China makes up a majority of a lot of our technology and things that come in America. Everything is made in China. They practically own us. But the way that it works, or the way the supply chain works, is you got your raw materials, right? And from the raw materials, whether it's cocoa or whatever that is, it goes to the factory and then it's used for whatever it's used for. And there's multiple uses for different materials, right? And from the factories, then logistics come into play. And we're talking about, the trucking, we're talking about shipping, we're talking about airplanes, like actually getting these things to the distribution centers. Okay. And this is where the backup in the supply chain is happening right now. All right. Is in the logistics area. I don't know if you guys are seeing what's going on with jobs. I don't even know what's going on. I haven't looked it up. I don't understand the phenomenon of people not wanting to work. And let me make sure y'all can see this. Can everybody see? Can everybody see what I'm looking at right now? I don't want to just be doing this. Could everybody see that? But I don't know what's going on with, people not showing up for work or not wanting to work, but it's a lot of truckers. We're short on truckers as well. I want to say the industry is down like 100,000. It's almost like 100,000. I want to say it was 100,000 what I read. Close to 100,000 truckers. We're short, almost 100,000 truckers. And it's just going to show how important the trucking industry, shipping, airplanes, how important that stuff is for our produce and for, our imports. So how much of the U.S. food or how much of U.S. food is imported? It's about 20%. All right, which is not a lot. 70% of our seafood is imported, which is crazy. And then the others, 35% fresh produce. So most of our stuff is grown here, genetically modified or not genetically modified, but we produce a lot of our own produce here. So what is it that's on those cargo ships out in LA? All right, I believe it's gotten up to about 73 ships or something like that haven't been able to unload. Now, some of this is food, but I believe what most of it is like technology, because they're talking about a shortage for Christmas. Personally, I don't celebrate Christmas, and I wouldn't care if there was a shortage in Xboxes and PlayStations and things like that. All right, now somebody that's into selling that stuff, that's a tip off, that the demand for it is going to rise, which means you can raise the price on it. But let's read this article. So Southern California is dealing with a traffic jam unlike any other, as a record number of container ships have been stuck waiting in the waters outside the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach to unload cargo. The bottleneck this week at America's busiest port complex is the result of a shortage of trucks and drivers to pick up goods, coupled with an overwhelming demand for imported consumer products. All right, so the American consumer, there is a high demand for we have a lot of spending power for whatever reason. And go ahead and as you listening to this, whatever your opinions or your feedback is on why that is. All right, why is the American consumer spending so much money? How is it that we have so much money to spend, in this pandemic? All right, I believe the benefits have stopped. All right, where is this money coming from? Right? Is that really what it is? Is really what I'm asking. Is that really what it is? Or are we at war with China? Or is there something going on with China where we trying to manipulate, the market? We trying to manipulate the supply and demand. As of Wednesday, 62 container ships were waiting offshore to unload cargo, according to the Marine Exchange in South Carolina. The backup of ships has grown since last week, when 60 ships were waiting to unload on Sunday. there were a record 73 cargo ships waiting to enter the port. So this is basically something that we've never seen. These are record highs of backup cargo ships that aren't able to unload. The surge has put increasing pressure on the Los Angeles Long Beach port complex, already the largest in the U.S. and the 9th largest in the world. Together, the ports move 40% of container imports in the U.S. and 30% of exports, and serve as a key gateway for imported goods from Asia. All right. And if you want to read that article, this is at us.officenews.com. I want to go ahead and read the rest of that. But what are y'all thoughts on what's going on with this bottleneck that's happening? Is it that we're really short that many truck drivers, or is there something more sinister going on behind the scenes? What's y'all thoughts? What y'all think? All right. Hey, what's going on, Joe? Welcome to the call. So we just talking about, the shipping containers that are backed up in LA right now. And, what do you guys think is going on? What are your thoughts on that? Right. So Joe says something isn't adding up. So Joe believes something isn't adding up. What makes you feel like that, Joe? If you don't mind me asking. Of course, Rachel says, I always think it's more to the story. Right. I mean, never give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe it really, that is just what it is. I mean, I could believe it. I could believe, truckers, it being a trucker shortage, especially, when I see people walking, whole staff walking out of Chipotle, right over there, up here in Cleveland, over on Harvard. They've had 2 walkouts of the entire staff twice already. And the entire staff just walk out. I've never seen anything like this in my life. People not wanting to work and people just walking out of work. Like, where is people getting money from to eat, to live, to survive, and to pay bills? So Joe believes it's definitely something sinister. I could see that too. This has never happened before, right? What's on those containers that can't be offloaded? Well, what they're saying is it's a shortage of truckers, right? All right, so let's continue. Let's continue on. So we got some more. Some more to go through. All right. Can y'all hear this? No, definitely not. Okay. We'll skip over that one. It was a video. So they're saying that we could see the effects of these shortages by Christmas. All right. So that means it's going to be a delayed effect. More than likely, it's going to be a delayed effect on this bottlenecking that's going on with the containers. Now, a shortage of what? I'm not sure. But just in case, all right, this website, Totes newsworthy.com, great articles on, things that you should do when it comes to preparing for food shortages. All right. They're not saying go out and just start stacking up food right now. This is something that we should be preparing for throughout the year. All right. We should be, every time we go to the grocery store, we should be grabbing a couple cans. All right. This is something that you want to do periodically over time. So if you haven't if you don't have a food, supply or extra food supply of dry foods, canned goods, things like that, I suggest that you just start getting a little bit at a time, building up to November or building up to December. It's the end of September now, going into October. We got October, November. We probably really won't feel it until December. But just in case, now is the time to start gradually getting these things, getting these canned goods, canned fruits, peas, right? Peaches, beans, cheap things that we can store for a good amount of time. But like I said, this is a very informative article that I found that I got a lot of great advice, reading from it. And that is totesnewsworthy.com, TOTES newsworthy.com. Definitely go check that out. Read up on that. But that's it. I just wanted to talk about the possible food shortage and just raise awareness on what's going on in the world, just in case you guys didn't know, because it's something to think about. All right. Definitely something to think about. Sydney said, I can't comment. The elite know exactly what they're doing. Yep. Well, if there's no other comments, if you guys don't have any questions, it is 9 p.m. and that wraps it up. That wraps it up for this Monday's Markup Mondays. I will keep you guys updated. Remember, don't forget to go follow me. Instead of hitting follow, make sure you hit favorite on the Facebook page so that when I post about, these trades, you guys get updated. Because if you're not signed up for the email, you won't get that message. So you can at least, stay updated on the trades from the Facebook page. But other than that, I hope everybody got value from this call. I will keep everybody updated on the trades. Remember, we do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Facebook Live. Next week, we're going to have a special guest, and we're going to be talking about something that's, very important, and another thing that, you guys should consider. But I'll keep that under wraps until next week. But other than that, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I will catch you all next Monday. Sniper Gang, see you in the chats and on the charts. And remember to always stay safe, but stay dangerous. Peace.